Money can buy you the answers you seek, and rhythm can lessen the pain. The gods, they are fickle, routinely oblique, but worship is rarely in vain. Thella has granted my one true request. The journey is now mine to take. With grays in my hair and aches in my chest, at long last I'm feeling awake. Loves have I lost and friends have I made, and many hard drinks have I downed. The devil I've crossed, that debt yet unpaid, but to Rowan my soul is bound.
So, in that case, like, Zahra, gets up and goes like, okay, so I'll have to put away my stuff. Don't want things to get lost with me. Lost on me, become fodder for people to steal from my corpse. So, like, she just, raised her hand, tried to get the barkeeper's attention, and she asked, so, are there any free rooms that I can take and pay for that are bird friendly? And she gives him a pointed look.
So the bartender's he's like, yes, we do have a room available. Actually, would you prefer a room on the first floor?
And Zahra's like, she has the face that goes like, haha, funny. But she goes like, yeah, that would be good.
All right, great. We do have one room left on the first floor. It would be 5 silver a night, and you can just pay each day. That's completely fine.
Okay, it sounds good. And she takes out silver from her purse somewhere. It's not. She takes out silver from her purse somewhere. It's not clearly visible where the purse came from, but it just appeared, and she got her silver from it, and it disappeared once again. And just hands it up to her and goes lead the way.
Yeah. So he leads you over to the room. Unlocks the door, gives you the key once you pay him, and he's just like, he's like, we're open to guests 24 hours. I close up the tavern in the evening, but with the key you can come on in the front door, your room and everything. I'm here in case of any emergency or anything. But yeah, feel free to come and go as you please.
Okay. So Zahra drops her most of her the heaviest stuff really quickly. Doesn't really do anything else. Just locks the door behind her and follows after him, trying to making sure that he stays in her line of sight at all times.
Well, he doesn't go in the room with you. He just he kind of leads you to the room and then kind of leaves once you go in.
Oh, and then she drops her back quickly and she leaves out just as quickly to follow him back.
Okay.
To the eating air.
Yeah, and then he just walks back to the main part of the tavern. While Zahra is gone for the couple minutes, do the rest of you do anything or discuss anything?
Grabak would definitely bring up that he is excited to fight a centaur.
Grabak, if there's a way I can be put as his second in that fight.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Can I be put as both of y'all's second? I want to fight one of you guys either way.
Grabak approves of this and amends the contract.
Wonderful.
I like how the fighter pits are essentially turning out to be just an excuse to have like player versus player fights.
Grabach just wants to test himself against everybody.
Right.
If he has to have an elaborate network of fighting pits to do so, so be it.
You, sir, you look like you could fight something. It's just some like guy, and he's just like, what?
Just like with Barry Shallows, like,
Right.
let's fight.
Like Grabach's like the guy from iShield 21. He doesn't recognize faces very often. He just like looks at strangers, but when he looks at people, he just sees Grabach. He's like, oh, this guy seems like a good fighter.
Right.
Looks at someone else. He's like noodly arms, but he has powerful legs. He's gotta be a good kicker or something. He's like analyzes people's like fighting skills like just by looking at them.
Grabach
Oh,
does
no.
the Sherlock Holmes thing, but only with fights.
Yes.
Exactly.
Only with like, that would be a fun fight, or not worth my time.
Was there anything else before she gets back?
Grabach's good.
So,
Nope.
Okay. So after, putting her stuff into her room and locking the door back and everything, Zahra comes back to the table with you guys.
Oh, I'm assuming that she's got a gun with her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that as you're about to walk away, you just kind of gently, I kind of need that.
Okay, sounds good.
So, like, every portion of it that Archibald, like, touched or looked at with his little weird monocle glasses, or, like, spun, or, like, unscrewed and screwed back down with a screwdriver, is all, like, brand new and, like, shiny again. And, like, the gun is in, like, much better condition than it was when you brought it in.
Yeah. So Zahra just like nods gratefully, just like twirls the gun like, once, twice, 3 times, then like, hides it somewhere behind her back. It's not obvious where, but it's hidden.
But yeah, you do notice as he hands it back to you, it's like in much better condition than you remember it being in when you handed it to him.
Yeah, it's shinier than the day she got it. Which was quite a while ago.
Right.
Like magic.
Like man.
Oh, so she asks the group, like, when are you guys planning on leaving?
Well, we have some plans to make if you want to take part in that, and some preparations to make once we've made those plans. But soon.
It's like, so she just like goes like, sure. Sure, if you don't mind me tagging along with your preparations. Does one of those plans include going to a store, getting some supplies? I'm running a bit low on healing potions. As in, I have none left.
I could use more cravats.
We do know a guy for both of those things.
All right. So do you guys want to head to shop?
Apparently we want to go to our good friend,
Our good friend what, Jesse?
Wait, hang on. I don't remember, bro, but I have this feat, right?
I'm not asking your character. I, Mike, am asking you, Jesse.
I, Jesse, am asking you, Mike, as the DM, to give me information based on my feet.
Right.
His name is Jimmy Pigeons.
That's not it at all.
Jimmy Pigeons?
It's not. It's
sorry,
not.
I actually only go to his competitor, James Dove.
James Dove. All right. It's Mr. Jingle Jangle. So yeah, if you guys want, you can head over to the Whispering Raven.
So,
Yeah.
we might, well, yeah, we may as well just go get Zahra whatever we can get her equipped out with. and then we can get plan supplies once we have a plan.
Yeah. Or do you guys want to plan and then get everything all at once?
I don't want to ignore Zahra's needs for a healing potion. What if she gets shot?
Sounds awfully threatening.
You just see me
Not
pick
by
up.
me.
You just see me pick up like a monster stat block and just tear it up. No. Okay, yeah. So you guys kind of get your stuff together, and you head over to the Whispering Raven. You head inside. Mr. Jingle Jangle, the Kenku shopkeep, is behind the counter, and as always, he flourishes when you walk in. He goes, "Welcome to the Whispering Raven."
Archibald's just so into it. He just like runs up like a kid and is like, "Oh my god, so good to see you, Mr. Jingle Jangle."
He just looks. He's like, "Nice to see you too."
I give him a knowing nod and head right for the fancy attire.
So you go over, and it's only been a few days since you last went and bought all the cravats he had. So I'll say he does have one. He does have one new one, and it's sort of like a blue felt one, like a deep navy blue.
I'll take it.
So you go over to it, to him, and you take it over to him, and he just looks down and he goes, 2 gold.
I hand him the 2 gold and I thank him for the cravat and try to remind him maybe he should order a few more.
He kind of like chirps and like nods.
I take that to mean he knows what I'm talking about.
So make sure you reduce your 2 gold
Yep.
for cravats.
I don't have a problem. Shut up.
Like a disposable. He wears them one time and uses them as like handkerchiefs and shit, and then just throws them away.
Right.
Well, could you imagine reusing a cravat? Ugh.
What would the people think?
How pedestrian of you, Archibald.
That's only what hoi polloi do. My goodness.
I bet that's the only shirt you own.
So novo reach.
The new money doesn't know what to do with anything.
Flaunting their wealth instead of like,
wealthy, but I'm not. I'm a scumbag. So
Flaunting their wealth instead of accumulating cravats.
like tastefully. You have to be tasteful when you're showing off your wealth, and that includes like cravats that don't look expensive, but when you look closely, you can see the tears of all the little like chimpunks that were used to like harvest like strands of cotton weaved into it.
Kensington's actually have the largest private cravat collection in Eastern Mistra.
So I haven't told any of you guys yet. Well, I mean, Kevin, I've talked to you about it, but actually his mother's side of the family is widely wealthy due to like clothing and textiles and stuff.
That's where the cravats come in.
So you have the tastefully old rich, plus experience with textiles give you the most fashionable. I was gonna say something, but the only word I can think of was like rich bastard.
No, that checks out.
I'm so starved for cravats because like we're out and about and it's like mother doesn't have a shop around here. I guess these will do.
gathering samples of competition for your mom.
I'm surprised his mom isn't like having a courier find him and like get him a fresh set from us.
Once we go back to the fort in Anfang, right?
It's a little north of Anfang, but yeah, basically.
Once we go back there, I'm sure there'll be a care package or two waiting.
You really need to set up a subscription service with her so that no matter where you are never more than like a day's like
No. So it looks like
away.
It looks like D&D Beyond may have updated the sidekick system a little bit, and I fully encourage us to just make Grabak a sidekick that's just like a caster who's just a butler who just runs around casting like mending on his clothes and doing like basic menial shit and being like, this is my unseen servant who helps me be Grabak's seen servant.
That's it. All his spells are like mending, unseen servant.
Invisibility, so he goes around his day doing everything for Grabach without being seen.
Oh god, an actual character whose job is to be an unseen servant.
Yeah.
The Kensingtons are like, this spell is cool, but it doesn't last long enough. Well, we have regular servants. I don't like that we have to see them. Their solution is that you have to learn to cast invisibility on yourself as one of their servants.
Pass without trace. Some of them are just shadow
Some of them are
monks.
just ninjas and shit, yeah, obvious.
I say invisibility lasts for 1 hour.
What we need is a powerful sorcerer butler.
So...
It's a shame they don't make those self-spelling butlers like they used to do nowadays. Like they used to do back then. The quality's dropped so much.
Yes.
Can't find good help these days. I keep telling everybody.
Zahra, what were you looking for in particular for items?
So she's looking for like specifically health potions. So she can just like ask the guy. So hey, where do you have health potions around here? And it's like on her shoulder, like the pigeon, puffs itself up because like it sees like competition, another bird.
He, Mr. Jingle Jangle just sort of looks at you and kind of looks and sees Sue like puffed up at him, and then like he kind of puffs himself up a little bit too, and then he kind of like points down at the counter, like there's a glass display, and he's just like, just in, and it's 2 potions of healing have come in.
Good. How much would they be? And she notices like him puffed up. She doesn't notice Sue was like puffed up as well on her shoulder. So she like thinks like he's like puffed up at her. So puffed up at her for some reason, and she goes like, "Why is he looking at me like that? Is it because I'm a foreigner? Does he hate foreigners? What's up with him?" So she goes like extra. She goes like really extra sweet and friendly. So how much is that? Extra friendly in a way that's obvious she's not friendly at all.
He just kind of gives you guys all a look before kind of tapping on counter, and it just goes 100 gold.
Like Zahra was like, gives a really big, wide, fake smile, and she goes, "Sure," and she just turns around and walks out.
I'm just gonna buy them.
Okay.
I'm just gonna buy them and be like, you forgot your potions, and just like chase after her like I don't understand what's going on, because I don't understand what's going on.
So,
All right, so mark off 100 gold, and he gives you the 2 health potions. And as you guys, was there anything else anyone wanted to buy?
Oh, did I, before, like, all that, I would, like, roll around, are there any, like, interesting new finds or anything? Like, just new magical item-y stuff that we haven't seen already?
No, I mean, you guys bought out all his inventory, so, like, his stuff's been, like, slowly coming back, but a lot of his new inventory that's anything interesting has just been, like, a health potion or two every few days.
If we needed like random like industrial parts to make like stuff, he's not really the guy for that, right?
He's got more like general store kind of stuff, but with the
Yeah.
occasional magic item. You do know that for a lot of like more heavy duty equipment or metal work, you can requisition stuff through Mr. Smith at Fort Algus.
Okay, cool, yeah.
But yeah, so you take the 2 potions, you give him the 100 gold, and then as you guys are leaving the Whispering Raven, he like weakly waves. He still looks very confused, but then, you know, obviously because he's a Kenku, so he can only really repeat things he's heard. He's just like, he looks kind of like sad and like confused, but he's just like, have a fantastic day!
Okay. And how long did that interaction take?
Not long. I mean, you guys are probably in there for maybe like 10-15 minutes.
No, I mean since Zahra left.
Oh, just like a minute or two.
Okay. So
So like, yeah, by the time you go outside and kind of like walk away a little bit, like they kind of come out following you.
yeah, so like Zahra isn't outside when she gets there. So she tried to go back to the she tried to, you know, just like wait outside.
Mm.
She somehow ended up a block away. And like sort of, you know, flying towards them. You're just like trying to get them to follow her.
So you guys go outside. You don't see Zahra, but you see Sue kind of flying in circles around you guys and like trying to lead you in a direction.
I mean, sure.
So yeah, you guys follow Sue, and you know it only takes you a few minutes to walk down the street, but you do find Zahra eventually.
Yeah, she's like looking around, like really confused. You know, peeking at signs and everything, and it's like she's just like is walking around. It's a bit hard to notice because like there's like people around, but she's there. And she as soon as she like, notices you guys, she's like, you know, counters like back. It's like, oh hey, where did you guys go? And like so like in the meantime, as soon as like comes and like flies down back to her shoulder, but like this time she like bites at like Zahra's ear.
How did you get here?
And Zahra's like, I'm really sure. I just like left the shop and next thing, but you guys weren't anywhere. So I guess I tried to look for you guys. Like I couldn't find you. And then like Sue just like wandered off. So, like don't know where she ended up, but she's here now.
So Archibald has like weird memory skills and would functionally know exactly how long it's been since we like literally just left the store right behind her. It's been like 30 seconds, right? Like
Yeah, it's been like less than 5 minutes.
okay, cool. Archibald's just gonna like recant the exact amount of time it's been without like any meaning in what he's saying, just as like you're proposing a vague concept and I have a specific number. Here you go. It's been exactly 3 minutes and 27 seconds since you walked out of the store, and before they took me that long to purchase these. And I just like hand her 2 potions.
So like Zahra's like really shocked as like her eyes are like really wide, but like she just like takes the potions like really confused and she's like, thank you. She's like, and she, you know, holds them. She's like waiting for like Archie to like say something, you know, anything. What is he asking for in return? Anything? She's just like silent. She's like looking at him confused.
I have an 8 wisdom and a 6 charisma, so this whole interaction, Archibald's just sitting there looking at you like shyly, but like not in a charming way. Like he looks like a big nerd.
So like there's like awkward silence between them.
Yeah, he just
And
doesn't
Zahra's like,
understand. He brought you potions. He put them in your hand. Now the ball's in your court.
Like it's literally like she's waiting for you to like be like, all right, you owe me this much money or something, and you're just
I'm
like
waiting for her to be like, cool,
to put
thank
them
you.
away or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, just take them.
Kira looks between them both and then just kind of stage whispers to Zahra, say thank you.
it's like they're just like, oh yeah, thanks. And like she's like, still like, holding the balls like awkwardly, like, and then she's like slowly putting them away somewhere behind her, and she's like, still, silent, still confused, still waiting.
Normally I would have made them myself, but you seem to be in a hurry to have some available, and I didn't want you to go without.
Yeah, always a bad idea to not have a healing potion on you.
It's true. You never know when a building will fall on you.
I mean, that is true. So like, starts, smiles. She's like I said, she's not one to take a gift horse in the mouth. If she's gonna get free potions, that is sure. But she keeps in her mind that she's gonna have to ask like Archie later to do something. She has to keep in mind like she owes Archie a favor now. Doesn't tell that to him, but keeps that in mind.
So go ahead and add 2 potions of healing to your inventory.
Zahra would take a gift horse in the mouth, but you would turn it down because centaurs really don't need horses.
Well, I guess this saying goes, you wouldn't stand behind a horse if that's the only space that's not on fire left in the world.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to stand right behind a horse. You guys had mentioned that you wanted to maybe do some planning.
Well, yeah, because I think we really need to do just like number one thing before anything else really would be we've got these crystals to collect and we've got the zombie clot to deal with. And I think that if we can get like a solid, like, we're gonna hunt the hunter kind of plan going for the zombie clot, that might solve the real danger of hunting down the crystals. But there is also the possibility that the crystals might solve the problem of the zombie clot somehow. So I wanted to do at least a little bit of research into that stuff and hopefully have everybody else do a little bit of like talking to people, which is something I can't do. But like, regardless, I have a loose plan on how I'd like to try to approach killing or containing the zombie clot. And then everybody else is, also a pretty good resource. So I think before we do put any time into like getting anything ready, we got to know what we want to do.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I kind of have an idea. So I want to build a giant hole. I want to make a giant pit. And then
Go on.
I want to use the ruby. And then basically I want to cover the pit, right? So if something extremely heavy were to say step over this cover, it would fall into the pit, right? So I want to have this giant pit, cover it so it doesn't look like a trap, and then I want to lure the zombie clot and have it chase me through, or have it chase us through Old Bainham into the pit. Either we could have like the party waiting around it so we could like take it down from above, or we could just have like one of us like run through while it's chasing the ruby and get it in the pit, and then it's out of the way so we could explore like.
I was also thinking we could set up a horrifying holy tiger pit trap.
Oh yeah, fill it with a bunch of holy water.
Fill the bottom with holy water and then put up hollow spikes that are all filled with holy water so that it impales itself on holy water spikes as it falls in. and then is like in. I hate being this nerd, but one of my favorite positions for a monster to be in, which is like a 20-foot hole with like spikes and lethal things at the bottom that it has to try to get out of while we all do our best from above.
Can you throw caltrops at it from with whole?
I'm pretty sure we could do better. Like I think we could set up like some pretty horrifying like holy armaments if we are pretty sure that it will be vulnerable to them. And if we can like get it to chase us into this theoretical deep enough for its proportions pit, that would do at least some damage to it, if not outright just be not the sort of thing a thing like that can handle falling into. I think that's at least a good step. And worst case scenario, we cover the pit, and it's just trapped in a horrible horror pit that does a lot of damage to it all the time. And maybe it dies, or maybe it's somebody else's problem in the future. But we have a good map of town. I think we'll need a diversion team to track the zombie clot and maybe divert it away from where we're digging the pit and setting the traps, because we can't have it just stumbling on us in this vulnerable moment and ruining the preparations. But once the pit's dug, I'm pretty sure I can fabricate a reasonable pressure sensitive to us but not to it barrier that we could all run across and it would collapse. I have a basic idea of its measurements, and then if standard pit trap style, we run across it, throw the crystal or the false crystal actually, and I just hold up one of the crystals I've made recently onto the trap, and all goes well. It does what it's done so far, and we've got a not quite fish in a barrel, not in a not quite barrel.
You've got a horrible nightmare in a barrel.
Barrel, yeah.
Better it be contained.
So what I would like to do is dig out the pit, which because of Akira's talents will be much faster and would have been the hardest portion and won't be. I'd like to line the bottom of the pit with something so that a layer of holy water won't just seep into the earth there. And then I would like to line the pit with some holy water infused spikes, which we've already seen to work very well for what we're dealing with in the general. And that way, even outside of the zombie cloud, it's a perfectly reasonable place to just toss a zombie or two if you need to.
Okay. All right. So, I'd say, looking over the map, where do you guys think would be like the spot that you would want to try to set this up? And you guys have the full map now.
Have we been around the sawmill yet?
You guys, the closest you've been to it was when you found the end of the tunnel that led out into the stream. Tracks could kind of see it in the distance.
Okay, that might be too much. That's not a horrible place to try to engage, but unless it's already got all of its own shit going on, in which case maybe that's enough trouble to avoid it. But there's a lot of material at a sawmill to take advantage of.
Between the sawmill and the residential area.
I just, if you want, I'm proposing a Scooby-Doo plot, and a sawmill is where you do a Scooby-Doo plot, you know what I mean?
So, knowing what you guys have, everything you've seen in the residential area, a lot of it is stone and, cobbled over and everything. The only place that would really be, the only place you could really think of in the residential area to do it is the field where the schoolhouse was.
That place is cleared out. It would be a straight shot down.
It would retroactively justify.
There was a hole there already.
Yeah, you've already started a nice moat. That's pretty viable.
What does everyone think?
I'm down with that area. We are. That's the one where you did the perimeter hole, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we already got a portion of the hole dug.
Sounds good to me.
So, I guess what we would need to figure out then is how big is this hole you guys want to make?
So
How tall was the zombie clot? Does Archie remember that?
I do, and I don't want to be this guy, but can I know its dimensions.
Yeah.
I know how big it is at its base level. I've seen it stretch. I've seen it's general capacity. It's hit me. So, and I've seen the way its footsteps interact with the ground. Are there any rolls I can make to approximate how heavy I think it is and what its reach could be if it were to have to climb and that sort of thing? And I don't have to be right. You don't have to give me actual numbers. Just, is there anything I can do to get close to that idea?
Give me a second.
Sure. Oh, also I want to set up a cage lid.
Okay.
Hey.
Give me a Actually, this would just give me a flat intelligence check.
Okay. I rolled a natural 20.
All right. So let me just double check the monster real quick. Archibald, off a natural 20, you know that the zombie clot is roughly 15 feet tall and about the same width. Because that's how D&D monsters work.
That makes sense. Now, based on the way that it attacked me and Akira, do I have the impression that it has how do I feel about its ambulatory capacity?
Based off the fight with it, you would know that it was actually a little faster than you guys, with a few exceptions. It was faster than everybody, at base level, than I think everyone but Akira.
Yep.
And that it had a 10-foot reach with its arms.
So if it's 15 feet with a 10-foot reach, then we need at least a 30-foot deep pit to make a pit that it can't just immediately just shamble out of, basically. I would say probably a little deeper than that, just to be safe.
Depends if it can jump or not, too.
I'm hoping it can't, but also I was gonna set up cage doors with the same kind of holy preparations in the hopes that might reduce its escape time.
You could also kneecap it.
I think it has more kneecaps than you can kneecap.
It's literally it's literally a thing made of zombies.
It's got kneecaps on kneecaps.
Yeah, on kneecaps.
Kneecapception.
Not only does it have Megan knees, it's got Megan's knees. All of the Megans.
Yeah, every Megan in town is.
Every Megan in town, it has those knees.
So what I'd like to propose is I need time to prepare some objects, effectively a large cage that we would then lower into with Sir Grabach's help and everyone's help. I think between a little bit of crane work and you guys' strength, we can safely lower it into a pit that Akira can dig very quickly and easily.
Well, not super quickly, but enough.
By comparison to a digging team.
So now,
And then,
how wide are you trying to make the pit?
So I have this together. So I was thinking about. So you said it has a 10-foot reach, right?
and it's for 15, so it takes up 3 movement squares. So it
Yeah,
needs to be
on the board it's 9 It's 3 by
It needs
3.
9
Yeah.
wide.
So let's say that it is let's say that the pit is like a 5 by 5,
Hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
like, okay, so it's like 25. So let's say that let's say that the diameter is like 30 feet.
How much was the old church, the old school building we burned down?
Yeah.
What was its dimensions?
I don't remember.
It's okay, but what I'm getting at is, did it have like a basement?
It didn't. It was just it was a single floor.
Excuse me. Well, we could effectively use its proportions for like the size of the
No, because having to dig, the thing is like the bigger we make the circle, like I can move dirt. It's 5 cubic feet, and I can move it 5 feet.
yeah.
So basically, when you look at the hole itself, basically what I'm gonna do is, let's just say it's like a 12 o'clock position. Basically, it's gonna be like moving around the outer edge, like in a spiral down.
So we're also gonna need a team of men to get dirt out.
So, I mean,
I
I
need to
could,
hire-
could do it all. It would take hours to dig the pit.
I just think it might be worth so I'm a little upset that Trax is not here for like extra him being great with random soldier shit, but we want to make 20. If it's 15, we want to
I
get
would
like
say 30. I would say 30 feet in diameter and 30 feet deep.
okay, so yeah, a 30-foot cube of depth dug, and then I want to effectively build like a metal apparatus that would like go in that, like a big like bear trap item, so that it has like a holy water, it has a flat, like a bottom that won't absorb water. It has like the placement for the metal rods that will infuse with holy water, and a like latching lid that can be sealed with like a really heavy duty seal to prevent an easy like access climb out of the pit.
Okay. This sounds like a very complicated project.
You know, I mean, is there a blacksmith in town?
What if we just switch the metal to wood? Like, there's a bunch of stakes, right? Could we just not throw stakes in the bottom and coat those with holy water, and then
We could just make it a hole.
Are we not making a hole?
No, I know, that's what I mean. Like, I could just not do any of the stuff I was talking about. We could just make a big hole. Like, I don't have to make it like a better hole. You can just dig a hole.
So no, I wasn't like trying to discourage you. I was just like, trying to think of logistics.
No, I'm just saying, like, I understand what Mira's trying to say. Like, I don't need to do any of the extra stuff I was talking about. Like, we really just need a big hole.
I mean, all I was trying to say is I'm just trying to figure out a way to simplify it.
Yeah.
So, like, instead of using metal or contracting a blacksmith, because, like, you'd also have to distract the thing from going to where you're at, wouldn't it be faster to do something similar with, like, wood or, like, what's around in that environment?
Yeah.
Because, what I'm thinking is, like, you guys could take the time to, like, get someone to make this out of metal, but then, like, how the hell are you going to get it into the old town and through the streets and to the,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's all.
That's sort of where I'm thinking is, like, you'd have to get real creative.
I mean, I got butlers, so we can use them to run a distraction. Crisscross through alleyways and that.
Just a bunch of butlers running for their lives.
Zahra's like a centaur. Like, she's got a walking speed like 40 feet. I don't know if that's like fast or not, but she can gallop.
No, I mean that's faster than most people. You know, like that's. But yeah, you guys, figure out what you want to do. Let me know, and we'll work it out.
I'm down with making the whole fancy, thus ensuring the demise.
The demise.
I mean, most of it I can construct on the spot. I just, I don't want to pour a bunch of holy water in a hole and have it just go into the hole and be like, man, you sure did consecrate that ground.
I can make fancy wooden spikes with Grabach's woodworking abilities.
I mean, like, if we can literally probably just soak them in holy water for long enough for them to be, like, additionally dangerous to zombie monsters. So that's not, like, a bad general play.
You could make fancy channels in them.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
Grabach has an idea. What if we make them somewhat hollow, put holy water in them, and have some type of plunger system where when the monster falls, they kind of inject into them using gravity.
or you could just use glass tips.
Or that. Where it was just like something where it would inject the holy water into it as it fell onto the spikes.
So,
Almost like lining it with like syringes that would just inject it with the holy water as it falls on the spikes.
Oh, you know what we need? Oh my god. Okay, so listen to this. We need a bellows system. So basically, no. So basically something that when compressed, it pushes air into these like wooden syringes. And basically the weight of the monster falling
Exactly my idea. Thank you for
pushes it
making
into
it actual.
Yeah, it makes it go basically pushes air and makes it go
Yeah.
like a giant blow dart into the thing. But it's,
Grandpa just goes to care. Thank you for having better words than me.
Sorry, what?
I think that would be an interesting idea if we did that. Could Archie and Grabach do a team up to build those kind of things?
I think we probably all can, by the sound of it.
We
It's
can
like
draft up the plans.
Zahra makes a really reasonable point about the glass tips, and she's also someone who might be able to help us implement that with her background in crystal work.
Yeah.
I can supervise any project, and with this being my project and you guys aiding me with your expertises, we can. This might be the first time to actually try out the new crafting system.
I was
stuff
thinking that too.
as
Yeah.
a full group project. And if we can bring in any outside help outside the team, even Kit and Grim before they leave, or like I said, the local blacksmith, all those things only improve our likelihood of success.
Right.
So and also I have jury rigging, and this sounds like a really jury rigged situation.
Right.
So I get to make good use out of whatever bullshit materials we have and make a nice project anyways.
Okay, so trying to think. Okay, so why don't we start with, you guys have an idea. Why don't Archie, with advantage because you're all brainstorming together, give me a just an intelligence check to see how planning it goes.
21.
Okay. So I'll say with that, you have a pretty good idea. You guys all go over it, and together you all come up with an idea for what is essentially like a trap plate, but on a much larger scale, where instead of being like a pressure pad where you step on it and something happens, it's like a giant pressure pad full of these spikes, and when a great amount of pressure is applied to it, because obviously it's much larger than a normal pressure plate, it would inject some form of a liquid into whatever was pushing it down.
Okay, I'm super down for that.
Okay. So essentially kind of merging your like metal trap idea with the like injection idea for like wooden spikes, but with like maybe glass or metal tips or whatever.
Yeah, I'm super down for that.
So
Are there any...
Yeah,
this
go
is just while we're talking about crystal tips. Are there any like is there anything around that would be like particularly holy in that variety? Like, is there any like stained glass that is particularly blessed or anything weird like that?
So
I know this is a really random idea. Just trying to maximize
I get you.
the...
So go ahead and give me a religion check.
Okay, cool. And then looking at the witchcraft works, I would kind of parse this as an intermediate project, not the first range, but like the second range of projects, because the range beyond that is getting into magical.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Like they're like, this requires a master's hand, and it might be magical. And I feel like this is a bunch of guys in the garage, not us having to be like, "Oh, sensei, please help us with this work." You know,
it's complicated, but it's not a magical device. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not building a car or anything. We're
Right.
you know. Okay, let me see. Religion. I apologize, Aya. Whenever Archibald's doing anything, a lot of skill checks happen.
It's all right. It's interesting to hear, at least.
He's really good at the intelligence rolls, but he sucks at everything else.
I rolled another natural 20.
Oh wow. Okay.
So with my guidance, that's a 28 nat
Okay.
20.
So, your mind immediately goes to the church in the Olde Town. There was lots of broken, like, glass from stained glass windows and stuff there. But you're also kind of on the fence because you're like, well, it might work, but also the church was technically desecrated, so it might not. But then you think of the church in the town to El Halat, the god of death, and think that, you know, maybe there's something to that. Or, as a final thought, you think that, you know, maybe you could try something like, maybe you could try to use some, if you have some available to you, if you can get your hands on it, maybe trying to create glass with some phoenix salt.
Oh, ooh, that would be fun. I think I can do that. Okay, so I have a pretty good idea. We definitely need materials, and like this is going to be kind of like a group, like go around town and get stuff if everyone's down for this project. And then we'll all come back to my big wagon that is also a converted laboratory space and start working on a ridiculous cage item that we can then transport in pieces and assemble in Old Batum.
What do people need?
So I want to go check at the Church of Death and see if we can acquire anything from them, including extra holy water, and maybe even imply to them the truth of our mission, which is to exorcise the particularly dangerous undead in the Olde Town. They're kind of about that life anyways. I think they might want to help.
So I have I have sticky fingers,
Oh,
which doubles everything.
for dexterity, for you trying to steal things
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
project.
So basically, I wonder if it would be worth like getting a list together and then I can just sneak.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna basically see if you wouldn't mind going around town and collecting just small items as you go, kind of thing. Like, we need like this and that, and the easiest thing to do is for you to just kind of walk by the table and grab it, sort of thing. Grabak, if you don't mind going to a church and seeing about getting us whatever kind of help in material, specifically holy material to combat the undead, they might be willing to give us.
The same
And
church I'm
then-
setting up a deal with that lady.
Is that? Oh,
Sorry, what'd you say, Kevin?
Oh, is that the same church where I basically set up the deal with the priest while Trax was pilfering
Yes.
holy water?
Yeah.
Okay, so I already have a relationship with them, so I can go there and see if I can work my magic.
Yeah, you guys already met this woman.
okay. And
Like,
then,
hey, I need holy stuff.
Miss Zahra, I don't know you well enough to recommend a course of action for you, but if you wanted to help me start working on the basics of the project and getting a space ready and getting comfortable with our laboratory, I'm happy to host.
I'll be sure I can help.
Also, but just between you and me out of character, if there's anything that that Zahra can do with like your background or anything else for this sort of thing, feel free to just be like, yeah, nerd, whatever, I got my own stuff, and then like do that.
I in this case, like, she's like mainly following your guys' lead because like she hasn't seen that zombie rot thing, so doesn't know shit about that. So she can like help with like the glass tips and everything, and like help with the structure. But
Do you wanna technically, in the course of the time we're doing this, me and Akira can get you in and out for like a scouting mission to see what we're looking at.
oh, perfect. And I can like,
I think if we're doing like a downtime, like week or two, we could functionally, between me and Mira's like stealth abilities and Zahra being good at that sort of thing too, I think we could pass without a trace. Just get in, get a look at the places we're trying to do work on, maybe scout out the zombie clot if we get lucky, and then get the fuck out of Dodge without engaging in anything.
oh yeah, Zara's an expert in stealth.
I think
Like-
our team is getting so sneaky as a general purpose thing, with our only characters who aren't sneaky being such good face distractions, that it is unlikely we won't engage in heist-like behavior a lot.
I think
Like,
she
we-
can like, if you guys kind of get her in to like the old town, like just get her familiar with like what she's like looking for in the area that you guys are going to work with. Like she can be really good as a scouting party.
I was gonna say, as a ranger, I don't want you not to know the terrain we're working with. Like, I feel like I don't know your stat sheet well enough, but I'm sure there's stuff there that justifies us being like, yeah, our new friend Zahra knows what we're doing.
But yeah, no, definitely she's pretty good at
So-
stealth, survival, and all.
So Mr. Kensington can certainly come with us, but I will say that I don't know if a sneaky in and out mission without engagement or violence is his taste.
I will schmooze.
Cool. So for the first night, before we get into our actual work, we as like a trio are gonna like go in like full Stealthy Bones style and like do it up live.
Yeah, make sure someone stays with Zara at all times, so she doesn't get lost.
Well, to be fair, in your now that you're a ranger of like passable level, you're what's gonna keep us from getting lost a lot of the time.
See, within a group, she's good. On her own, she cannot navigate her way out of a wet paper bag that's been dropped into an ocean, dropped into a lake.
I think that's
But
fair.
yeah, that's what the pigeon's for. The guide pigeon.
Right.
Exactly.
While they're doing that, could I find some type of tailor or seamstress in town? The blue cravat I just got, could I get that embroidered with the symbol for the church that I'll be visiting?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Smart.
That is one of my proficiencies.
Ooh,
Yeah, I have,
fantastic.
I think I've
Oh,
is
right,
it
yeah.
weaving as my other thing?
I think
Yeah.
your textiles and
Yeah, my
drafting.
other crafting thing is textiles, so I can actually do that for you.
Nice.
What Akira's basically making over the course of our adventure is a giant cool anime guy scroll you wear on your back, but that reads like newsprint of our adventure.
Yeah, it's my chronicle.
Every
that's
day, like as we've been going, Mira has occasionally been doing like little doodles in relation to our adventure, and they'll all be like one long scroll once we get along with it.
Like that.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, is that what the shitpost is about?
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta tune it up because the chronicle and like our general memery gotta be separate because the chronicle will all read as one long in-game.
Listen, that's it. That's
What? I have faith in your capacity.
But yeah, I can do that, Graba.
Nice.
All right. Should we roll for this stuff?
So, all right. So the plan to start was to have you're gonna embroider the symbol onto Grabak's cravat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead and give me a weavers, right? You have weavers tools.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me using your dexterity mod. Do a weavers tool check.
I'll give her a little like shoulder tap guidance.
Okay.
So I just roll for deck.
Dex plus proficiency. Yes.
Okay. Woof. Okay, and then my proficiency is 2.
And then a guidance.
Yoinks. 11.
It's close
Okay.
to 10.
So it takes a little bit of time. You are able to embroider the symbol of El Halit onto the cravat, but when you give it back to Grabak and he puts it on, you realize that you embroidered it upside down.
Huh.
Could I cut that label off of his? Wait, it's on a cravat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you feel about a patchwork cravat?
Bach hands you the cravat, turns around, and covers his eyes.
Amazing.
Do you happen to remember what techniques you took, babe?
I texted Mike 1 second.
He will attempt to forget she said anything of the sort, and just assume that it was done right the first time.
La la la, can't hear you, can't hear you.
I don't hear fabric tearing at all,
No, it's not
specifically
really.
not cravat fabric.
I am so sorry for suggesting a thing.
Babe, me time and sticky fingers.
Yes.
Oh man, I have to talk to Ernesto and tell him how much cravat action he missed.
Damn, well, I'm sorry your cravat is ugly now.
Well, who knows? Maybe you start a new trend.
It's an Akira original now.
Yeah, right.
Abstract art cravat.
It's one of
Wait,
one.
wait. If you're wouldn't a true gentleman be able to tie a cravat upside down so that it's still like displayed the correct thing in like a fancy way.
You should start a new trend among the dandies.
That's what I mean. Like, couldn't you do like a fancy new upside down
Upside-down
cravat?
Oh, I could do that.
And then just press it as like that new freshness. Because I think that'd be less likely to insult the religious people, and you're more likely to pull off a fashion trend than you are to pull off like a faux pas.
Abaki is going to pretend that he thought of that and that he wasn't too dumb to think of that, and say, "Of course, yes, I was planning on that all along."
Oh, also, I just for reference, Archibald is like a super cinnamon roll who's always one step away from becoming a crime boss.
We love that for him.
It's
I love that for him.
If anything bad ever happens to Akira and I don't make a new character, Archibald's going to be so sinister.
Great.
I
His
don't think
timeline,
anyone
Archibald.
would fight that.
Can he get a goatee if that happens?
Oh god, yeah, I guess. Although, like, he is a cool black kid, so, like, his goatee wouldn't be the evil, sinister goatee you're thinking of under
No,
normal.
he shapes it. He shapes it with some jet, and then I know you shape
Well,
it.
I was thinking he could have it be the same kind of texture as his hair, and he could have a little tie in it and stuff, you know? And because his hair is
It's a
sparse,
short fuse.
it's a fuse, yeah, it's just
It's a short fuse.
it's like the Egyptian pharaoh tie, so it's also a fuse on his chin. Yeah.
I
He could have
love
two
that.
fused mustaches. Oh, that's so mad scientisty. Yeah, there's an evil Archibald there.
Crouching cinnamon roll, hidden mob boss.
I mean, I'm
This
really good
is,
at both things.
I have a feeling if Akira before Akira dies, someone's gonna time travel from the future to the current period, you know, to avoid that because because the world is gonna be a mess.
Stop killing Akira. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem
mean,
like a necessary
This
line.
is actually, Aya. This is before we started recording, but in like the third or fourth session of the game, Akira almost died.
Oh,
Yeah.
This,
what happened?
this slime creature got a crit and did double her max HP
Oh,
in
yeah.
one hit, and which would kill you outright normally. And the only thing that saved her is she has a feature as an Oni called Stone's Endurance, where she can lower the damage she takes, and it lowered it just enough to not instantly kill her, so it just knocked her out.
Oh wow, that is lucky.
And like there was like this just gut punch moment where we all were like, "Oh my god, Akira's dead." Like dead. And then Mira was like, "I have Stone's Endurance," and I'm like, "Well, fucking roll that shit," you know.
Oh, that's terrifying.
yeah.
Tell me, just do it.
Right, you know, just roll it down. No,
Honestly, though, if Akira dies, I do have a plan for the next.
you
For the
already
next
have
character.
your backup character.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna be a boom wizard?
Huh? What's the boom wizard?
I just know you haven't ever actually played.
Yeah.
like-
Oh, yeah. It'll be a boom wizard.
Actually, Mike, the character that I built for Ernesto's campaign, I could always use that as a backup in case Skrabok dies. It's a Goliath paladin,
Oh,
and
that's
he a big boy.
yeah.
See, I was originally gonna play as like a cute party princess, but I've unfortunately just decided to probably, if Archibald dies, play as my like very first D&D character, who in 5e apparently doesn't roll below a 26 on persuasion checks. So
I haven't even considered a backup character. If Zahra dies, I'm gonna cry. And then, you know, saw my way through another character sheet.
Yeah, right. Well,
we'll protect you. You're brand new.
yeah. Well,
I'll take
you know,
bullets for you.
So
Aw,
I'm not
thanks.
like actively trying to kill you guys, but I'm trying to make things challenging enough where it doesn't seem like combat's just like something you breeze through. But
This-
like
Partially, it's fun because having backup character jokes makes it easy to be flippant about the idea that you might actually die.
Yeah.
But also because you're a nice DM, constantly being like, "Yeah, when you kill me, I got stuff. It'll be super sad, but I got plans." Actually works as like a fun reverse psychology where you're like, "I don't want to kill my players. It'd be sad." And like,
Right.
I don't care what your new characters are. I like your characters you're playing right now.
I do. I really like everybody. No.
We lose so much cravat jokes.
Right.
You know what? If Zahra dies, I'm gonna make a meme character. Don't know who yet, but I'm gonna make a meme character.
Oh no. No.
If I suffer, you all will suffer. Just kidding.
How about you? You're definitively our most evil character outside of our hero, Trax, who isn't here right now. And you're just like, if I die, I'm gonna make a mean character.
I mean, she's one of those that, nice.
I mean, she's
nice
cool
to people.
evil.
I mean, she's like more like chaotic neutral. So she's like not really evil. It's more like she doesn't give a fuck about anyone else. Like people that she's friends with. She just figured it's better to be friendly and avoid getting knives in your back.
But also, she'll shoot a motherfucker in the face.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's a centaur. Break a horse's leg, the horses die. She's gonna go like. She doesn't go for the throat. She's gonna go for like the thigh.
There you go.
There's an artery in the thigh. That if you if you nick it, people can bleed out.
That's true.
Hell yeah, femoral arteries.
Wow, I got completely off track here. What you guys were gonna try to scout some stuff?
Yeah, I'm looking through the crafting process.
Yeah.
For the difficulty we're looking at, it's gonna be our difficulty level times 5, so 15 plus 5. So the difficulty level of this project is 20, if you agree with like what we're talking about.
Well, no, I agree with your because it's not a magical thing. It's essentially just a very large trap.
Yeah, so we're looking to hit a 20, and then the first thing we're looking for is the base materials. So we'll need like metal and shit, the stuff, the holy materials, a supply of holy water, which some we have already, but some we'll need to get, and that be where these guys come in right now.
I feel like you'll need a lot of holy water.
Yeah, I figure that might actually involve a real deal, or like getting someone to bless like a tub of water that we have, basically.
Right. Okay.
And then the prep.
Oh, what if? So there's water in Old Bainham, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't we funnel off a stream
And then bless
and have
the.
someone bless that pond, so it's a pond of holy water?
I'm super for that, but we would need to then get someone to come with us during the last portion of the setup and do the blessing. But that does make a lot of sense.
So if you look at your map, the stream that runs through Old Bainham doesn't really reach the schoolhouse. It's actually nowhere near it. It kind of runs from where the old manor is, around the town square, but it does run right through the sawmill.
We could use the sawmill as our base of operation.
We could scout the sawmill while we're scouting the zombie clutch to Zahra. I have full confidence in our ability, as long as we play it smart, to do a stealth run. We just got to be in and out, Okay, so let's put that on the book as a maybe we're switching locations, but not really changing the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I do happen to know someone who could very skillfully, if slowly, cause a tunnel from the river to our trap area underground relatively effectively. So
That's true.
if we need to forego the mill because it's too dangerous, we do have an alternative, slower method of getting water diverted to the trap without like unnecessary transport. But we still need someone to bless the trap effectively. So like we need as many holy materials to build it, and as much we need someone to like go and bless all the water that we include into it after the fact effectively. So
We could quench glass in holy water.
Sorry?
You quench glass and metal in holy water.
yeah, I think that's the easiest thing. And then I like the idea of using actually
Oh,
like
yeah, consecrate it.
filling the glass tips, like as much holy infusion as we can get. Like if we can like literally make our own glass out of holy water somehow, like let's do that.
What Aya was saying, where we just soak the stuff.
No, I think it'll work, but I also think we could make the tips so that they actually have like when they break, there's holy water like inside the tips.
Yeah, just like yeah, that is the plan. Like hollowed glass tips.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
We
And
could
so,
I think.
yeah,
How-
as long as everybody's still on the same original page, I think that's a really good idea.
How do the nuns bless the stuff? Is it like saying a couple things over it? They can kind of holify anything?
So I know Archie's kind of looked into it himself a little bit. What you guys know is that you do need silver and water, and there are prayers and stuff, but the big thing is that typically only either priests of a religion or clerics or paladins can actually do the making of the holy water.
Could I, going on out of character, what if Grabak just got the priestess and like brought her, like do your thing?
You could certainly talk to her about it.
That too, yeah.
Oh, you mean like kidnapping?
just do a light kidnapping. I'll bring her back.
Am I being kidnapped? No. Oh, so can I go? No.
No.
Would my background grant me any like access to like paladins or priests?
What's your background?
I am. What is it? One sec. It's
She's the exotic thing where she's from a distant land and people are kind of fascinated by her. So it opens doors for her. So, like, theoretically, she's got an in with anybody because everyone's a little fascinated by who she is and where she's from.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I know that there's no Centellan church in this town, but are there any, like, traveling... Like, are there any members of the cloth around?
Not that you've seen, but I mean, you could certainly go looking for them.
Because, I mean, if we find them, I, by my background, have a pretty easy, just like, hey, dogs, anybody got some holy water making in them? Let's go do a science.
It says here that I gain the friendly interest of scholars. I would say like clerics
Yeah, I would.
are a type of scholar, right? A religious scholar.
Sorta, yeah. I could see that. Alright, so, Grabak, you want to go talk to the church lady.
Yes.
Archie, you want to see if you can find any Centellans in town.
Yep.
Okay. And Akira, what exactly are you trying to do?
Am I not scouting with you guys?
You can scout with us. You can help Zahra. Also, with your.
Actually, I know what I'm gonna do. You guys can scout. I am going to go steal supplies.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna use a pass without trace and just steal supplies because I've got sticky fingers, which grants me like double.
You get advantage on dexterity checks, I think.
Thank you. Yeah.
To get material from your
whatever project he's working on. At first, I was like, "Oh, you pick flowers better," and then I realized the obvious wink implication is when you're making something and want to steal some nuts and bolts, you steal those nuts and bolts.
Right. All right.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Will Akira... Is Akira going to let us know like, what she's doing before like she goes to steal it?
I'm sorry, what?
It's like, Mira, will Akira let the party know that she's like planning on stealing supplies, or is she just going to go and just like
Hang on it.
appear?
I'm waiting on a list.
Right.
Are you telling me that you're gonna steal supplies?
I'm telling everyone I'm going on a supply run.
Okay, that's
Okay.
Archibald wouldn't question that.
So the big things that I think would be items that you guys would need for this project are metal, obviously, like just in general, metal, nuts, bolts, just different pieces that you could weld together or use to smith into things. Holy water, glass, and Phoenix salt.
If you can get us some Phoenix salt, like, it's gonna be hard to find, even if you can just find it and we have to buy it. But like,
Where would one find Phoenix salt?
I mean, I hate to say it, but Jingle Jangle, or if I find some Centellans.
And is there any other material you think might be useful to the project?
Okay, so metal objects. We're gonna need to cover up the traps so that it looks fair. But I suppose we can use whatever we use around when we dig it up for that. We could use a few more decoy crystals because I've made 3 so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind having 1 to bait the trap with, and at least 1 for everybody putting themselves in danger, including any priest we expect to drag into this place.
Makes sense.
So if we could do that, that's not a bad thing on the list.
Would
Let's see.
my experience help with getting more crystals or decoy crystals?
Yeah, I'd say so, because you have jeweler tools and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say you could actually, you'd probably actually be pretty useful with that.
Okay, so that's big for us then, because we definitely need that. So between the glass tips and the crystal fabrications, and I'll give her one of my fake crystals as just this is what we're looking to duplicate kind of thing.
Do you want to use the perfect one?
Yeah, one of the perfect copies.
You had one that was flawless.
Yeah, we'll use that one so that she has a good running.
Okay.
And then, so glass tips and fake crystals from Zahra, possible holy materials and priest help from Grabak. Akira is going to go and pick us up small project items we need, with especially hunting around for some Phoenix salt we can maybe get that I have assumed she's just going to negotiate for and would never think she would steal. And I am going to start getting the plan drafted while I look out for inquire around town about Centellan pilgrims or local scholars or whatever, on the off chance I can get easy access to some my kind of priesting.
Okay. Excuse me.
Can I take Gizmo with me?
You can have Gizmo. Also, if there's any chance, between the Death Church, the local libraries, magic stores, and everything, I want to do as much if everyone could keep their ears to the ground for anyone who might know more about the way the zombie clot is, that we might be able to suss out other ways to do damage to it. Maybe it's vulnerable to fire in a particular way, and I would like to know any of that we can get before we're done preparing. If everybody could just, talk about that shit while we're working. And also, avoid getting caught doing any of this by the Baron, because I do not trust that man.
If someone's there with Zahra, she can help. She's good at not being noticed for being someone who has horse body. So she could keep her ear to the ground.
Well, honestly, you're so good at like perception and stuff. You can literally just listen while you're doing stuff. Like while you're in the tavern or anything, you can just eavesdrop on people. You don't need to talk to them.
Oh yeah, exactly. And no one's gonna notice that I'm there because I don't know, something about like a tall lady with a horse's body is like not remarkable.
You're as nondescript as a really descript big lady can be.
Exactly.
It's not like you've got, it's not like you've got a horse bottom. You've just got 4 legs and 2 arms.
I mean, to be fair, you're surrounded by other really sensational people that don't. You're not that standout.
Yeah, plus like instead of going clop clop, I could put like foam at the bottom of my
Clap,
hooves.
clap, 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 clap.
I figured you would just have cork shoes for in town.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking she's gonna put like something like a little absorbent at the bottom of her hooves, just like be a little quiet.
Yeah, little Crocs.
Yeah, and there's no clapping of ass cheeks. Like, give her away. Give her away.
Are you telling me you don't have Chiron's anatomy where you have the gratuitous male human ass?
In addition to your butt and your horse butt, yeah.
Unfortunately, Zahra does not have a vestigial ass, so
I feel like having a back ass isn't really necessary anyway, because like, what good does it really do you for being a butt?
Well, okay, so actually, Aya
That's why
had
she
this.
said vestigial.
Because this is kind of worth pointing out before we get here, the next like big step for this group project is gonna be like acquiring 1, 2, 3, 4, effectively 5 like things that are kind of like big conceptual things for the project. And if we can get all 5, we'll be rolling like way better for success than if we can't get all 5. So we need knowledge of the project. You study the subject in advance, either from a source materials or an NPC mentor. So like everything we can learn from the people, everything I learned on my natural 20 of having perfect memory of engaging with the creature. I think we can probably get that on it, but we need as much knowledge as we can to get that 1 die from knowledge. And then we need high quality materials, which I help with a little bit because I can literally make just the weird shit we find around and use from like the location and stuff into better materials with one of my special techniques. But the better stuff we get from you guys talking to people, buying and stealing stuff, the better the project will work if we can get what are qualified as high quality materials. And then assistance, which us all working together is pretty much that. And if Grabak can get a priest in on the deal or whatever, or I can, that counts even more towards assistance. So like help, the more heads in the game, the better there. Sacrifice, which is kind of the idea that we're like giving something up for this, which, we're gonna have to work that out as a group for that, what we're doing. But like, I kind of think it's a pretty reasonable, what we're up to kind of thing. And then the idea that you're doing this with generosity for like a purpose for other people to make it like real cheesy, but we're literally trying to like save a town. So I kind of think we have that one on lock.
I'd say you guys, yeah, that one I would just give you because of that.
So, like, I think I can kind of qualify us for 2 out of 5 right now. And we really need to get assistance, high quality materials, and then sacrifice reads like this. I'm just going to read it. It's a little weird. We can all as a group interpret how we want to deal with this. You willingly sacrifice something of personal value in order to improve the quality of the craft. Think of this less as the demands of your work and more as your priorities changing as your character develops and matures. The severity of the sacrifice should match the level of the challenge. So, like, I don't actually know how you want to do this, but this is also kind of Studio Ghibli magical crafting together. So, like, it's going to be hard. Maybe you miss out on, like, an opportunity to go out on a date because you're working on this project. But, like,
I've got the sacrifice down.
What's
I'm
that?
gonna dig the pit myself. The sacrifice is the literal sweat and tears that go into
I mean,
removing
that's not true.
dirt.
That is actual effort outside of the project. So like, but that's it. So if we can do all that in this, that's what this really is a trick, is getting those 5 things, and we're trying to beat a 20 rolling d6s. And I add a little bit of extra stuff to it for being an artificer, and you'll add to it for being like having your special crafting classes. So like we'll probably be able to build this big silly cage, as long as we're a little bit lucky and put in the effort.
All right, so should we get started on the rules?
I think so.
Out of character,
Mhm.
so in Zahra's inventory, I included a simple simple ruby necklace because think of it as like as a sentimental reminder of a friend.
Mhm.
I did this before the session. So in regards to sacrifice, that's a very pretty ruby that could be used. Problem is, I don't know if she within a week I don't know if within a week she'll be close enough to the party to sacrifice something that was that sentimental to her.
That's what I was gonna say. Is if it's very sentimental to you, and essentially right now, I would consider is Zahra really thinking these are my friends and allies, or is it more she's probably? I mean, it's up to you, but it's is she like that, or is she more in the mindset of these are just some people I happen to be working with at the moment?
I would say that your sacrifice is putting your trust in these almost strangers into collaborating on this project.
No, that's so true, but also that's a really good emotional angle for what the game wants. What I was thinking is, Aya, didn't you take collector as one of your crafting features?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aya's character has a collection of jewels, not including that very, very sentimental jewel. If she were to use one of her, I keep a special collection of jewelry, like jewels around, for making our special trap crystal, like the one that's specifically baiting the trap. And that is, it's by the rules counts as a sacrifice because it comes out of her thing, and that's the rules. But also it's the emotional growth of, oh, I want to help these guys. I'm not going to give them this very special ruby, but I've got this shitty one that I don't even think is real, and I think I can really work this into a beautiful fake of this crystal we're making.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be perfect.
So I think we can count on sacrifice that way.
All right. So far, I'd say you guys have sacrifice. What's it? The one where you're the selfless one, where you're doing it for someone else.
Generosity. Would you count us all working together as assistants, or do we need to find outside help for that? It says fellow player or NPC, and we got players.
Right. Well, yeah. So if it specifically says if it's more than one person. So yeah, I'd say you have that one already too.
So we need to definitely get knowledge, which is probably my job.
Yeah.
We need to, I'll do as much as I can for that. And then high quality materials, which let me double check what my stuff does for that. But I think for knowledge, we do have to do that 3-person scouting run with me, Akira, and Zahra to get the location scouted and the zombie clot scouted one more time if we can, to get a good idea of what we're doing as a way to boost that, and also because I just think it's a good idea out of crafting process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, what do you guys want to try to do first?
Do you want to get, Aya, do you want to get to get out there with me and Akira for some stealth stuff before we all start doing work in town, or do we all want to do that and then?
I would say scouting first, know what we're doing, we know what we need to do, just in case if we need to account for something What?
Because, yeah, this is supposed to be just in and out. Like,
Yeah, so yeah, I think scouting is like best.
so we're definitely a little bit indebted to Akira because she's the one that makes stealth something I'm willing to try and be safe with.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to Grobach?
I will head to the church.
Okay. All right. We've reached the end of another episode. I'd like to thank my players for being such a fun group to play with. At Cactus Toad on Instagram, who made our character art. At Alpha A for helping with the intro video. Will Savino and his tracks from Music D20. And Burrough Bound, link in the description below. And thank you if you made it this far. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time in the Paragon Company.